Hey guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back. I'm Shane.
Zach.
We're back with Star Wars Rebels, Season 1, Episode 7. Last episode, Zach, Ezra infiltrated Imperial Academy.
He did, and he was training with a bunch of other youngins.
Yeah.
And they had to do some pretty extreme training.
Yeah, it was like what the clone troopers did almost.
Yeah, and so you noticed there later in the episode that they were trying to root out any Force-sensitive children, which the Inquisitor is very interested.
And then we also had Zara Leonis is looking for a sister. He helped out with a diversion when they were in the
there for a
AT-AT.
minute. Ezra actually screwed over Jai to help the other kid.
Yeah.
Because he found out that he was kind of helping.
Yeah.
He's not really there for the same reasons.
Makes me want to watch Prison Break with you.
Yeah.
Which we're going to do eventually. Eventually they just phased out this hard training.
And they probably just didn't have any kind of that training for normal recruits, obviously, because every time you ever see them, they suck. Yeah,
do you think like maybe the Empire just gets so huge, like they become lax on the training programs?
That's a good possibility.
Or was it because it came out in 1977 and they weren't thinking about it?
That's absolutely why.
Yeah, that's
because
absolutely
if you
why.
think about it, I mean, instances like, say, World War II with the Russians. Like, you were just trying to put as many people in the field and manufacture as many weapons as you could, put them in their hands, and get them out there as you could. It wasn't about training them efficiently.
That's a good point.
It was just about, I think the Germans had a term for it, like the material Schreck or Schreck or something. I can't remember how the hell it's pronounced, but basically it's the war of materials.
Yeah.
It's your economic war.
Yeah. Do you think Han Solo went through any of that stuff? I mean, he was in the Imperial Academy, he got kicked out. In Solo, it looked like he was in some army in the within the
Yeah, he looked like some kind of grunt regular, but he wasn't a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder if it's just they never really addressed that anywhere else.
No, they don't. I like the idea, though, there being different things.
I do, too, because the Imperial Stormtrooper are like the shock troops.
Yeah.
But these other guys are just like the regular...
Like, they're like you talk about training up all these guys real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, before we jump in, if you want to support us, check us out on Patreon to see 4-week early access and full-length uncut reactions. Stick around for our post-talk, and Zach and I will break it down. Let's jump in. Ooh, where they are. Imagine Goku Vegeta fighting on top of those mounds.
There isn't a pilot in the Imperial fleet that can outrun me.
Yeah, so how about teaching me some of those high-flying moves?
You fly my ship?
Don't do it in the middle of a battle.
Not ready. Not ready!
We've gotten ourselves into another fine mess.
I admit it's a little messier than our intel indicated.
I don't see Han Solo doing that.
No. Was it Lando that took out the fucking radar dome?
Yeah. A little too close.
I've told you before, Fulcrum's intel is on a need-to-know basis.
And I told you before, I need to know more.
Where's Zeb and everybody? Okay, I kept thinking, man, that ship looks smaller.
Scrape the Phantom's underbelly.
You?
It was somewhat unavoidable. Once your plan went south, Zeb will need the Phantom ready to pick up the supplies from Fulcrum, adjust the steering, and run a diagnostic. Chopper and Ezra will help you fix any problems you find.
Really? Have you met them?
Hey, and I'm leaving soon, so get to it.
I feel like she's getting cut out of the loop.
Angsty teenager.
Yeah.
What happened out there?
Well, we took out the target.
Yeah, I got that part.
Fulcrum was right about the timing and route, but
Some calf.
underestimated the Imperial defenses.
I'd like to know why we're relying on intel from this Fulcrum, whoever he is.
If she trusts the contact, I trust the contact. No questions asked.
At the Imperial Academy, they didn't want me to ask questions either. That didn't work for me.
Yep.
That's why I ended up here.
And we're glad to have you.
You are so frustrating. I'm telling you, I'm coming on your run to meet Fulcrum.
You know, you can be pretty frustrating too.
Learn from the best.
This diagnostic's taking forever. How's it going in there?
Tara was right. Steering's definitely out of whack. But I almost got it fixed. All fixed! Oh, hey!
Perfect. Steering and life support are back in working order. I told them to wait till you were out.
Not funny!
I take it you finished the repairs?
The steering needed fixing, which I did.
Port filters needed purging, which we also did.
Let's go.
Why all the secrecy?
Oh, it's no secret we're fighting against the Empire. We need as many allies as we can get.
This is Fulcrum. Come in.
This is Spectre 2, Fulcrum.
Why don't I talk to him?
Don't you dare. You know, an outburst like that is not appreciated.
Neither is all this secrecy.
The Imperials can make anyone talk. You've seen what they're capable of.
Yeah, I have. That's why I need to know.
You already know exactly what you need to know, and no more.
You know what happened when I was a cadet at the Imperial Academy on Mandalore. I trusted the Empire, followed its orders blindly. And it was a nightmare. But sometimes it seems like the harder we fight, the harder things get out there. I feel like we can't take down the Empire on our own. That's why I need to know this isn't all for nothing. I need to know that I am not walking into another nightmare here.
What you need is faith. Faith that there is a long-term plan that's bigger than you or me. Look.
You just have to assume you're not doing what the Empire's doing.
Yeah.
You've helped enough people, I feel like.
There were more crates, but someone's dragged them away. We're not dealing with a who. More like a what.
Yeah, no shit. Not a Gundark.
No, it's not.
They're too much like vampires. I don't want anything to do with them.
That's going to block out the sun for a long time.
How long?
I don't know. Long enough for us to become lunch.
Luckily, we weren't planning on staying.
Harry's not here to save you now.
This is like waffles.
It looks like.
Spectre 2 to Spectre 4, come in.
Go ahead, Spectre 2.
You did run a full diagnostic on the Phantom, correct?
Of course.
And you checked the results?
You guys screwed up.
Spectre 2, there might be a small problem with a few lines.
Small problem. Guys, we have a situation.
Hera and Sabine are in danger.
Wow, how could you tell? Could you sense it?
No. I could hear you two yelling outside the door.
I guess we could hole up in the Phantom.
Judging by the torn-up shuttle in there, locking ourselves in the Phantom won't protect us.
Thought I recognized these markings.
Thank God they're right there.
So what's your plan?
Since we don't know how many of those creatures are in there, we can set up groups of canisters and create explosions that take them out a wave at a time.
There's only one.
Oh God.
But they're taking refuge behind canisters. They got ignited.
Yeah. You gotta shoot it now. I feel like one big tribute to episode 4 so far.
I got your back.
What a cool little device.
Kid, come on!
God, they're just desperate to get in there.
Hungry. That's all it drives them.
Well, I mean, it's just like, it's almost like that, like a horror.
Hunger drives them.
Yeah.
There's a lot you don't know about my ship. Chopper, reroute coolant to the engine.
Thanks for saving me back there.
Don't read too much into it, kid.
Look, Hera, I'm sorry about not checking the diagnostic.
We're all sorry. Right, Chopper?
Maybe because the last time they fixed it, we nearly wound up as lunch?
Oh, right. That's why.
Yeah, you gotta feel like shit about that.
I just trusted you with my life down there.
I know.
Well,
I know you do.
you can have a choice.
We won't always be fighting this battle alone. Do you think you can trust me?
I think I can try.
Guys, that was a reaction. This is our discussion. How many young Jedi, I mean, like, absolutely crave those things? You know what I mean?
Well, you think so. But if they train them from the ground up,
Yeah.
they can weed a lot of that out before they get into teenagers and the energy's really there.
Yeah. In this episode, because of the antics of Chopper, Ezra, and Zeb, they didn't fully check the
Phantom.
The Phantom.
Yeah.
And,
They didn't actually double check the diagnostic.
yeah, and honestly, it left them stranded there, which left a fun situation to watch. And it reminded me of Horde. Gears of War.
It's a game mode.
Yeah, Gears of War kind of started that, and then Call of Duty started doing zombies. Mm-hmm. And then I would argue, well, this is kind of deep video game meta stuff, but like we started seeing Fortnite and all these arena games where you're in this area fighting, and then the environment changes, and in these type of games, it shrinks. Then everyone, like, it gets to the point where the action starts to ramp up because of everyone's closer together.
Yeah.
I think it kind of started, in my opinion, because of Horde and zombies, and you have like these shooter-esque things with these waves of enemies.
Look at what Horde mode. I look at like that development has become, for instance, I would look at Helldivers.
Yeah. It's such a cool concept.
It's not quite the same concept, but at the same time, the idea of it, though, is like you're just fighting hordes of brainless NPCs. They're just...
And you have to team up.
But there is a game master, though, right? He's
Yeah.
a guy that actually says he makes things harder here.
From what I understand,
Adjust shit.
Our buddy Gus was telling me that I need to at least check it out, because it's like...
I really want to, but I don't game online with people very much. And also, most people that do, they like to stay up very late and do it. And I go to bed early.
Yeah.
So...
Sabine mentioned her time at the Imperial Academy, kind of blindly following orders. She mentioned what happened to Mandalore. I know you obviously...
Well, she's at the Imperial Academy on Mandalore, is what she said.
Yeah, and this will touch on that big night that we get to see in The Mandalorian. You know what I mean? So that kind of covers it here. And honestly, I love the scene where Kanan is kind of meditating. I mean, I said it in a reaction. To me... You can tell me if you agree or not. It kind of feels like one big tribute to Episode 4. Kind of like this fun, bombastic stuff with this little bit of spirituality that you don't know about.
Well, I think a lot of it is in respect to...
I know that's what they were going for, too.
Yeah,
because they got a bunch of kind of old trilogy fans that, except for Dave Filoni, obviously, worked on the Clone Wars. They had a lot of his team, and then they had a bunch of new guys. So, but then, it did so well, they were able to...
run with it.
Yeah. Now we have the Fire Knock.
Is that what that is?
Fire Knock or Fear Knock.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't. So StarWars.com doesn't say if they're force sensitive or not, but they don't like natural sunlight. And obviously it reveals in the episode, even the creatures themselves were scared when they saw a bright light, and then they realized, kind of like raptors, like, oh, this light doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
And they mentally adapted to it.
They remember.
Yeah, they remember. Yeah. But anyways, that's pretty much it. It was a fun episode. We got to see Sabine trust Hera. I think she will. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it's relationship building. Trust exercise.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Not my favorite, but pretty cool. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. See you next time.